Hi, here's my vlog for December 9th, 8/17, Monday. I woke up at like 7:30 or something. Yeah, I just suddenly woke up. I was having a dream. I don't remember what dream it was, but yeah, I opened my eyes and I looked out. It was like full on daytime. I was like, oh wow, okay. So when I wake up, I don't sleep in anymore because I don't have the physical, I'm not physically healthy enough for it. Like when I wake up, I feel like shit, so I just get up. So now I guess I know why some people wake up and just get up out of bed because they don't feel good enough physically to just lay there. So yesterday I did go to the gym. Like yesterday, was it yesterday that I brought the last of my weed over to my mom's house? Because they had 3 plants that actually my mom gave me, and then they grew up. And the third one, I chopped him. We were gonna make cookies out of him, but she never did. And I was like, fuck it, let me just smoke it. And I smoked it, but it wasn't that good. There were a lot of leaves, so I gave the leaves to her. And then, so yesterday, oh yeah, that's what happened. That was the day before yesterday. So yesterday, I actually got up and scraped my pipe, because that's kind of, in fact, I might even be able to do that now. That's kind of something I realized you can do. Well, I guess, sort of, because your tolerance is so high, but you can, like, if you have a bunch of, like, caked old bowls in there, you can scrape out the crap. And the goo, there's a little goo on the top of the tube, and smoke that and get kind of high. It's bad on the lungs, but I did that yesterday and I got kind of high, and my mom came over. So I was basically hanging out doing, oh yeah, I went to the gym. I slept in, I was hanging out smoking weed, and then I went into the gym and I ran a mile on level 5. And like every step I took, my knees hurt, and then every step I took, my right knee hurt, and then my left knee hurt. And then I'm kind of realizing, oh shit, I have like no bone density. I have to like rebuild the bones and the tendons in my knee and stuff. Yeah, so I only wanted to run a mile because that's about how far I can run comfortably at level 5. That's about what I can do. So then I got off and I did a couple of like curl. I can't even remember. I could read it here actually. Actually was barely in there. Yeah, I ran the mile and then I did hoist bicep curl. I think 65 pounds, 3 sets of 10, but I'm not sure. And then I did life fitness tricep extension, 80 pounds, 3 sets of 10. And then I went in the sauna for 10 minutes. And then I ran another mile at level 5, and then that's all. And after I run the mile, I'm pretty sure that's all that happened. And then I was like, oh man, I don't feel good. Like I call it mud blood. It's kind of like where you're kind of like low blood sugar all the time, because your body just has mud blood. It has sick blood. So you feel you're weak and low blood sugar and everything, and then that can cut into your motivation, and when you're high, that could convince you to stop. So yeah, I was like, screw this, man, I don't feel good, I'm going home. So I went home and I think I sat around and just sat around and maybe watched movies or something, I don't know, killing time. And I can't do porn because I'm too fucking old. I sit here and I'm like, I remember the days I would do porn, and I'm like grabbing my dick and it's all like flaccid. I'm like, well, yeah, those days are over. What's on TV? Even when I'm baked. So weight doesn't help me anymore. So sitting around, and then my mom comes over at like, she said she was gonna come at noon. but then she comes over at like 2:30 or something, and she managed to stay here till 4:30. So I wanted her to come over here to help me write my website. So like 5 years ago with Kirsten, who was a copywriter, worked as a copywriter, and this was like right up her alley, was helping me with my website. And I ended up writing like a front page blurb. Here's my introduction to my website. But I actually never finished it. I got down here and I was like listing things and I kind of gave up. So I decided that, because I don't get any sign of life for my site, so what I'm saying to describe my site is the wrong angle. Yeah, I do get, like, the way that I get hits, they kind of come in waves. Like, I've been at 65.44 for days, and then today it was 65.45, but I broke 65 like only a couple weeks ago. It seems like I keep in track of it by doing screen captures of my website on my phone and my computer, and the screen captures tell you when they were screen captured, so you know, like, when I had a certain number of followers, or people who have not followers, people who have visited my site, which is 65.45. And yeah, but I don't remember in my head because I'm too much of a fucking burnout. Like, my brain is switching off. So but I think it's gone up. Probably because of all these chicks I've been sending dick videos to have checked out my website. So that's like how I promote myself. I send my dick to hot young chicks. I never thought that I'd be doing it like that, but that's how it happens. But I don't think they have a whole lot of degrees of separation with money. That's the problem. So yeah, the angle that I have doesn't work for getting people to donate to me. I think because there's a little bit too much negativity. You know, the people who have money, I think the bird just pooped in my hair. The people who have money, you know, they have a lot of hang-ups. You know, they have a lot of insecurities, and they don't like sourpusses. And then normal people too don't like sourpusses. So I'm gonna change my and that bird's attacking the wire. He's gonna electrocute himself. Yeah, I'm gonna switch up the angle and be more like empowering and positive, and describe the crisis in education and the wealth discrepancy, kind of like more as a result of something that's out of everybody's control, you know, and that just kind of happens to people, and kind of like a drug addict, you know, you get addicted to your money and you buy supercars instead of donating to foundations, and because that's like your drug. The supercars are your drug. So it's not like your fault. Yeah, so my mom came over yesterday to help me write, and but I wanted her to get on the same page with me to understand like what I'm saying, and I could describe it really quick right now, but I couldn't get her to agree with me on like the important points of my site. Like, she straight up disagrees with me. Like, when I say we need to, you know, like basically shut down schools. I mean, you can keep schools. Schools should stay open like the way hospitals are stay open. Like if you need to go there because you have a problem with your brain, go to the school to get fixed up, you know? But you don't spend your entire goddamn life there. Like you're sick, you know? So, but she didn't like that. She's like, schools? Yeah, we love schools. And I'm like, so then I have to explain to her, I'm like, look, we don't have the money. Like, we have to we have to, there's two ways we can make money. Well, there's three ways. New inventions, but you don't have any control over that. This is kind of the natural growth of society. So there's two ways that we make money. Yeah. We can do better for the economy. One way is by making the economy more efficient, and the other way is by distributing the wealth more evenly. And you can't stay hung up on one of those, because if I just stay hung up on distribute the wealth, then we still have this over-bloated economy, and the wealth can get distributed through a mismanaged economy. And also, you can save a lot of money if you do it with the right system that's appropriate to the technological development you have. One thing that's interesting is we have a lifestyle that's appropriate to our technological development, but our mental development is like way retarded. So we have to make like a artificial boosted campaign to get people to be smart again. And so, yeah, so these are basically the bullet points. Because like yesterday, we didn't accomplish anything. I'd say something, and she'd start like get really emotional and start like yelling at me with like anger in her voice, and like get like triggered, dude. And yeah, one of them was the schools thing, and I'm like, look, we don't have the money, dude. Like, what's more important, healthcare or bashing kids' heads against the walls at these stupid-ass fucking schools? Healthcare. But then people might be like, oh, no, but there's too many people in the world. Let them die. Like, so nobody can agree with anybody on anything. So, the other thing that we need money for, if we're going to have a war with Russia and China, we need the money for the weapons. If we're going to have... we need money for fixing the environment and like, converting into green. So like, we could create a bunch of AI-driven, auto-driven, like smart robots, giant trucks that drive through the middle of bumfuck nowhere planting seeds. And we could create new forests, and then the forests create rain, which create more forests, which then can create lakes, which create more rain, and like we can terraform the earth. So this bullshit about Elon Musk wanting to terraform Mars, dude, it's just so that he can stroke his ego and get rich off of it himself. It's the stupidest ass thing in the world to do, to go off and try to terraform some other fucking planet when our own planet is dying. Like, we could terraform the Sahara Desert first. Okay, we could terraform Utah and get the Great Salt Lake back up to size, and the Bolivian lakes back up to snuff, and even forests up there. Like, and then we would fix global warming. But we get these fucking idiots out here like we need to get to Mars to save the human race. No. That could start some kind of space war. So, that's basically the idea of why you need to cut down schools. It's not like they're useless and the design is obsolete, which it is, because we can do it all ourselves. But it's also that we don't have the money. It's too expensive. But here's the problem. Because we didn't accomplish anything. Like, the idea yesterday was, I need to write just a 300 to 500 page blurb, something like as big as what's on my site, something that'll take up maybe like a page, like the whole screen. When you look at the site, like that, you just read through it, and if it sounds something, and I want it to sound, I need it to incorporate everything. So you start up from the highest up, and then you zoom all the way in, and you just do it, like one sentence at a time, and you do it quickly. But every time I mention that, she would start yelling at me. That's impossible. So yeah, so at the end of the day, she wrote some notes, some bullet points, but she didn't understand what her responsibility was. Like, I wanted her over here just as kind of like support for finding words, for empathizing, understanding what I have to say, and then just to write down what I want to say so I can write my thing. But she was like fighting me, like just writing notes, and then wanting to yell, and then I would defend myself, but she's interrupting me, so I talk loud, and then she says I'm yelling at her. So she's going to come over today at 10, and we're going to give it one more try. And I told her, look, just keep your mouth shut. Just write what I tell you to write, dude. And if I say something you disagree with, like, we can talk it out. Don't just start screaming at me. So, yeah, and like she's almost 83. She'll be 83 in like 3 weeks, and she's getting a little senile. I mean, she's on top of it, I think, for an average 83-year-old, but like, I have a lot of things that I say, like bullet points on my site, and every time I tell her my bullet points, it's the first time she's ever heard it. And she's like, as she was walking out the door, I said one of my bullet points, and she was like, "What?" Like, she literally never heard it before. "What? That's crazy. No way. You're crazy." And then she left, and I was like, we were fighting as she was leaving. So, yeah, the last thing I said was, yeah, you get paid for... It's like the simplest fucking thing. It's the most basic thing I've been saying. Yeah, you get paid for doing... like having a website, doing book reviews, taking history tests, and putting all of your, your test data up on the internet. So you're being like a public, self-educating history student who is sharing your results on the internet, and you get paid for it. You get paid for it by rich people, and then once you show that you're doing it, then the next person can get paid by the next rich person. And then more and more do it until there's no more rich people to pay people, and then our taxes will pay us, and then it'll be a type of UBI. And yeah, so anyway, so my mom will come over today, and I'll have to give her these bullet points, and it'll literally be the first time she's ever heard any of them. It's like Groundhog Day all over again. So, so basically it goes like this. So for what we need to do is we need to go back to our roots and be independent again, because it makes us more well-rounded life beings. You're not like zoned, like hypnotized into this person who's not allowed to think. You're actually a human, back like when you were in the day. Back in the day, humans have been around for like 1 million years. Back in the day, 300,000 years ago, people were fixing like spears and stuff. People would work all day long, and they were like Renaissance men. They would do everything. They would work all day long to survive, right? And so if we put that kind of energy into studying history, we would all be geniuses at history. And so that's why you would pay somebody like a professional. Like, there's professional athletes get paid to do their sport. It's like that. You're a professional athlete. You do a sport because you're learning with audiobooks, so you're going to be doing something. And so you're going to be training. You're going to be doing your sport. And then, and then you get paid for doing your test. And the reason you need to get paid is because, like, nobody does it. We need to kickstart it. And it's difficult. Like, I can't even do it. I haven't started. I've been smoking weed, but I took like my biweekly history test. It's to do it right, it's basically a full-time job, because the way I set it up is every 2 weeks you do your biweekly history test. It has the random number generator, And so like you could do 0 to 2000, and there's 200 decades between there, so it would just do it would randomly choose one of the decades, and 60 of them in an hour. You have a minute to do each one. So it takes an hour to take the test, but the problem is it takes like 3 hours to grade, because you have to research and make sure that for every question, right, that only took you a minute. But in that minute, if you have 5 things you mentioned, you have to go and research if those 5 things happen on Wikipedia and on ChatGPT really helps. It's faster than Wikipedia. That really did. It was a breakthrough for my test. But still, it takes like, if it took you a minute to take the test, it'll take you like 3 or 4. So that means if it took an hour to take it, it takes 3 or 4 just to grade. So it's kind of like, that's like your day right there. And if you do it bi-weekly, that means every 2 weeks, like your whole day is basically taking this test, because you have to grade it. But grading it, you're learning, right? But then you grade yourself, and you have to be transparent in the way that you grade yourself, because there's a lot of gray area in grading. Like I had fucking piece of shit teachers who would give me these horrible grades with 0 transparency. They'd just be like, yeah, here you go. We did the calculations in our head. Here you go. Now get the fuck out of here. Yeah, fucking idiots. So, yeah, all of my fucking teachers were like that. And they all wanted to give me D's and C's. And I was like, okay. I didn't even care. I was like, I didn't care about grades. But then they used them to kick me out. And I was like, well, okay. Fuck, I should have cared about the grades. But it wasn't the accumulated GPA that they kicked me out. They kicked me out because I got a D- in one class that they didn't tell me I got a D- in. So they totally made up their own rules, and it's unbelievable. Fort Lewis College. Yeah, I'm going to get those motherfuckers. I'm going to shut that piece of shit place down. And yeah, I've got my issues with Boulder High and CU too. But anyway, see, that's the thing. When I sell my idea, I can't get like personal. I have to be like clinical with it. I'm just stating something that's obvious to everybody, that it's just not. We're ready for the new system. So anyway, here we go. So for the beginning of time, here's the bullet points that you string together for the 500 words. So for the beginning of time, we're all independent, and we're all taking care of ourselves. So there's the first bullet point. Then we invent inventions which basically create money. They level up the economy. But then we ruin that by creating all of these requirements and programs and this, that, and the next thing to then make our society expensive again. So we make it cheap with all of the technology, like the apple tree shakers and stuff, right? But then we fuck it up again by, like schools is the perfect example. Like, well, let's make our society the most expensive it could possibly be, and make all of the people from the age of 6 until 23 years old sit down in a wooden chair from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, 5 days a week. And then after that, they have to jump through all of these bullshit hoops that these idiot bosses give them to do, so that by the end, they've turned into your common average American who doesn't know a goddamn thing and is basically allergic to reading or anything. They're like, no, I don't want any more of that. It's like torture. They turn school into torture. So, and not by asking you to do things, just by sitting there and having some person who's afraid of getting fired or whatever going blah, 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 like in the Charlie Brown. It's like, then where's the homework? And then if you do homework, all of a sudden there's no credit for it. There's no rhyme or reason to school. It's like somebody invented a school hundreds of years ago, and then people were like, yeah, let's do that, because those people who went there ended up becoming powerful and rich. So then we'll do that. So then they make the brick and mortar, and they hire the teachers and all the fucking workers. And they're like, go, do your thing. And then they're like, well, do our thing? All right, I'll be a narcissistic fucking, like, favoritism, biased fucking idiot asshole who just licks these people's butts because their parents scare me. And then these people, I have to give them the failing grade because I have to give somebody a failing grade. You know, it's all ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. If I was a little bit worse of a person, which I'm not, I'd fucking blow the motherfucking place up, dude, with bombs. I'd blow it up at night when there's nobody there, you know. But there's other ways to do it. I'm more intellectual than that. So, what we need to do, so we're all independent people, right? And then we invent things which create money and opportunity for everybody, but then we screw it up again with all the requirements and overhead expenses and certifications or whatever the hell that's supposed to, that in the beginning, you know, I guess it does its work, but then what happens is we have technology again, which then fixes it and creates more growth and opportunity, which is the technology of the computers. So then what we would do is do part 5, which is use the computers in the way that we used the land back when we were cavemen. So there's all these bullet points I want to throw together that are like these catchphrases, all the catchphrases throw together. So one of them was, and this is something that sent my mom through the fucking roof, dude. Started screaming at me. And then her voice gets fucking sore, and then I'm answering her. I'm trying to answer her in my regular speaking voice, this voice. But because she's angry, she thinks I'm yelling at her, so now I'm the one yelling at her, and then I started yelling at her before, and she never was yelling at me, and it's like crazy. But what flipped her out was I said, oh God, I lost my train of thought. What I was talking about was there is you have the self-sufficiency of the people, but then we invent things which creates opportunity and wealth, and then we screw it up with all of these requirements, and then more technology comes, like the computer, to help us. So then part 5 is where we need to get back into studying. Oh yeah, this is what I said. The bullet point was, if we put as much work into studying history as we did in the past as cavemen, as staying alive, we would all be geniuses. And the point behind that was, picture in your head somebody who gets up and they work all day long, you know, sharpening their flint axe and their spear, and then they go out and they hunt a rabbit, and then they run over here and they fix their jacket, and then they run over and take care of the baby, and they're just running around all day long, right? From dawn till dusk, and then they go to sleep. They get up. Now imagine if you did that. Now, you get up, you go to the gym, you're pumping iron, you're riding your bike, you listen to a book, Boom, book's over. You go over, you do the book review. Like, you're literally spinning your wheels all day long like that. You take the history test, you grade your history test. You know, you keep up on all these things. You take a couple of IQ tests online, you upload it, you know, and then you're tired, and then you stretch, and like you filled your whole day up with work. Like, after a couple of years or whatever, you're going to be not only a genius in history, but you're going to be like super athlete, right? That's what I meant. But she got triggered because she has all these hang-ups. She got triggered on something else too. She got triggered on that because it sounded sarcastic. Like she didn't believe it because she didn't think it through. So which meant that I had some kind of a bad attitude or something. And then the other thing that sent her through the roof yesterday was oh man, we were standing right here in the kitchen. Man, my train of thought is like gone. Yesterday, after my mom left, I had $8, exactly $8 in my wallet because she gave me money I went and got stuff for her in the supermarket, salad I bought her a salad when we went to the horses. I got a beer and a burger and a salad, and so she gave me back in cash for the salad and the carrots. I had $8. I was like, well, I don't buy anything with cash, so let's get weed. Because I smoked weed yesterday morning when I scraped the pipe. So I was like, fuck it, let's just spend this money and get weed, and then I'll smoke a little bit of weed. So I bought the weed, and I actually bought it before she came, and I smoked a little bit of it. And then I smoked the rest of it, though, after she left. So I smoked 23% THC sativa, like the whole thing, $8, like the couple of nuggets, that much. Just like that, you know, and I barely even got high. So I guess the weed that I had here was strong. I just didn't realize it because my tolerance went up. And then I had asthma last night, but yeah, so, anyway, I wanted to mention that. But, what was the thing that she flipped out on me? Oh yeah, schools. I was like, yeah, we need to reduce the size of schools, and then she, for like the 1,000,000th time, and I gave her the reasons a million times. But last night she had like an emotional reaction and just freaked out, started screaming at me. You're like Trump, you're the same as Trump because he wants to get rid of the Department of Education. So you're like Trump. And I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, don't think that everything that they do is like bad. I mean, he won the fucking presidency. Maybe, yeah, sure. I'm sure everything he does is going to turn to shit, but just the general concept of like, well, maybe we could downsize the FBI, you know, and the CIA, you know, and save money that way. Save a lot of money by downsizing that. Those programs with little or no oversight, the president can't even see what's going on, can get bloated. So now to trust somebody like Trump to fix it, I don't know how the hell he's going to do it, but just the lip service to it, you know. But, so I was just giving lip service. It's not like I'm a follower of Trump. She thinks I'm like following somebody. I have to be following somebody all the time. So, so I still have to convince her. It's an economic thing. She thinks it's like a trauma thing. She's like, I know you don't like school, but just because you don't like it doesn't mean nobody can go. And I was like, no, but it's for the money. But, yeah, so when she comes over today, I need to just get those the bullet points. So then bullet point 5, yeah, you have to like artificially inject, you know, intelligence into people, but and that's why you would pay them, but it's hard. You have to look at it like a job, and you have to feel like it's your job, and you know, you're in the zone for it, and to be able to do all that stuff and do it right, you can't have a job. That has to be your job, but the problem is I'm out of money and nobody will ever give me money because I guess I was a little bit too negative on the way I describe, and maybe my design, because I have a lot of stuff I have to describe on my website, like in 300 words. Like I have to describe why I designed it the way I designed it and why it's better and like all these abstract stuff. I think I can do it. You just string the bullet points together. Like you string a whole bunch of like slogans together, you know, and it might sound a little bit intense, you know, but it's just for that top part, and if you want to see what else is on there, you know, then that's when I can describe it, and I have links to places, but like, no, my website's not gathering any, like literally no traction. It's like the same thing as like bald tires spinning around on the ice. Like Donovan, some dude named Donovan gave me $20 5 years ago. I get a new hit like once every few days. I'll get one more person, and then I'll get like 15 hits. So I don't know, maybe one person has friends or something, and then 15 people look at it, and maybe they're hate watching it. I don't know. And then it gets stuck again, and you know, there's no comments. There's never been a comment about my website on my YouTube. I accidentally uploaded a video to my main YouTube channel, my vlog, before I realized, and somebody commented and they go, how's your timeline coming along? So that's about the extent of it. Every once in a while somebody will say, oh, you have a timeline. But nobody has ever given a comment about it. Like, I like the color coding idea. I like the font coding idea. I like the space condensation. I like the mixing horizontal with vertical timeline. I like the icons on it. You know, anything. The zero, meaning there's no similarity between me and anybody else. People are perfectly more than satisfied with a regular, timeline like that one that I have on the wall. And never in a gazillion years would they ever think of making something on the internet or something that goes from horizontal to vertical. It's just, and then if you make it, there's no comment. And then people in my personal life turn on me because they get jealous that I'm not working, even though I'm just falling farther and farther in debt. It's like I am paying for it. $30,000 in HELOC loan, and now it's climbing loans with the credit cards again. Sinking. So, yeah, so I have to get a job, dude. So now I'm going to have a part-time job and doing my whole new education thing on myself. With nobody to talk to, nobody to agree with me on anything. Just my mother, who disagrees with me on just about everything I say, like adamantly, without even trying to understand me. So it's kind of a bummer. I wish I had just a couple of months to get into the rhythm. But whatever. There's this job. I think I want to be like the coffee person, coffee filler upper, over at the Marriott, where I go there at 5:30 in the morning and work until 10:30. Because they said it was $20 an hour, so it's like $100 by 10:30 in the morning, and it's only 2 days a week. Maybe I could get away with that. But so anyways, that's why I'm not out there asking for money from people. If you go to my funding site, because I'm not doing it, I have to actually walk the talk, and then I have to get the money. And that's what I keep telling my mom, but she doesn't understand the concept of me asking for money for doing all of those things, because she thinks that, here's another thing that she disagrees with. She thinks that nobody will give me money because everybody's in survival mode, right? Nobody has it. Everybody's working all the time. They can't. So then out of all of the filthy rich people who have way too much money, none of those people will give me money because they're going to give all their money to Trump. That's literally what she said. None, not a single one of the 2,000 billionaires, with a B, billionaires in America, would give me a single penny, or any of the multi-millionaires who could afford it would give me a single penny because all their money goes to Trump, because all they care about is making more money for themselves. So basically, if you have 2 pennies to rub together, according to my mom, if you have 2 pennies to rub together, you're an evil piece of shit who only wants to get richer and would never donate to anything ever, out of the goodness of your heart. So then, which is insane, because it's like, well, what about all of the foundations out there? Like, why are they donating to the foundations? Are you going to give me another cynical answer, like, so that they can like bring out their foundation card to show all their friends at the cocktail party that they donate to foundations? Well then, like, couldn't I be a foundation? Couldn't I be part of a foundation? Like, she just goes into this, launches into this nihilistic black hole of like, it will never ever work because, and then she'll just say some blanket statement. Nobody with 2 pennies together would ever give you money or anybody money. And what about the foundations? I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't take quizzes. Okay, so that's the conversation. That's basically. So, yeah, so I mean, how do you work with somebody who won't agree with you that you should reduce the size of schools, won't agree with you that anybody will give you money for anything, that they even should, won't agree with you, on like fucking anything. They just want to scream at you and disagree with you. And not in like a devil's advocate way, but in like a, how dare you, you fucking idiot, psycho, retard. At one point yesterday, she goes, "That sounds like an autistic person wrote it!" And I was just listing. It was after I listed just the things that I had. I was like, well, I know, that's why I'm trying to write something that's like expansive, and generalized on the front page, but with a lot of the slogans, but every time I say something, you start screaming at me. So she thinks that it's her website. And like we're making her website and I have to help her write her website. And I'm like, bitch, it's not your website, it's my website. You were coming over here to just be my companion. Just be my friend. Just hang out here and transcribe what I want you to transcribe without fighting me on everything. And so we're gonna see if she can come over and if she can do it in the way where she's more than welcome to disagree with me, but the way she does it doesn't work. Just all of a sudden screaming, and then she, half the time it's not even disagreeing with me. It's just straight up insulting me. You sound like an autistic person. You're crazy. You're insane. Nobody will help you. Nobody will like you. You need help. You need therapy. It's like, what the fuck, dude? And then she'll go into some speech. You're talking too loud. You're yelling at me. Don't yell at me. You're yelling. And then she'll go into this thing. You're yelling. Don't yell. Oh my God. So, and I'm like, damn, dude, we need to record these conversations. Never. Yeah. So she thinks that you should never. So that's another problem that she has. See, this is why it's difficult, dude. This is like an actual, it's like a war you have to fight. Because she's almost 83, so it's a generational thing. But it's also going to turn into like a rich person versus poor person thing. Because the rich people are going to want to hog up all the attention. Because they're all narcissists. So if like a normal person invents something, this is not what I feel. They'll want you to not go anywhere with it so they can steal your idea. But what was I saying? Oh man. Oh yeah, why it's super difficult. Because like there's so many people have ideological problems against what you need to do. So for example, the sharing yourself online, that's like philosophically against my mother, actually. That's philosophically against what my mother's philosophy of life is. And her generation and the generation ahead of her, you have to be discreet, you have to be secretive, and that was all to protect, people's fucking crimes. But yeah, there's people like my mom who ideologically believe in that. Like, don't make a website because they'll steal your identity. If you make a website sharing your ideas about things, your philosophical ideas, your identity will be stolen. And it's like, I better be super careful not to let my identity get stolen, because if it ever is, it'll obviously be because of all of my website and my YouTube is what did it. Even if maybe it was like I got targeted because of that, but no, it'll have to be worse than that. No, I wasn't targeted. I put myself so out there, any and everybody could have just stolen my identity. And so that's why you can't have a website or do YouTube videos. And, but then other reasons like, nobody does that. What do you mean? Nobody does YouTube videos? No, but younger people do. Never. Oh, well then how about using it just as an educational thing? Nobody ever, never, no, you have to be private with it. So there you go. If you're private, then there goes your whole system. You can't use the technology for what I'm describing it for. So, like those are the conversations I hope I don't have to have with my mom today, but I will, If I try to describe her my site again, it'll be the same shit. And she'll be like, huh? Like a deer stuck in headlights. Literally everything I say to her, it's like the first time I'd ever mentioned it, ever. What? You getting money? Never. Yeah, so maybe I should secretly record our conversations so after she dies I can put it up on YouTube to prove that the conversations actually were just like that. Fucking crazy making. So, yeah, so, but that's the problem. I mean, she's kind of representative of regular people in a lot of ways, like the whole concept of you know, get your videos out, book reviews, blah blah blah. People, you know, that'll quickly form in somebody's head like, oh, you're talking about like a full-time job, bud. Like nobody's just gonna do that for fun. That's too much damn work. I mean, but the thing is, like, if you think about it, it's such healthy lifestyle that all you have to do is get into the habit of it. The reason people don't want to do that is because they're not in the habit of it. It's too hard. You know, nobody has history memorized, and that's one thing. That's another thing. Omniscience. That's another buzzword. Like we all need to be omniscient and have history memorized. And my mom's like, that's impossible. You can't do that. And I'm like, I don't mean me. I don't mean like next year. I mean like in humans. Like humanity's been around for millions of fucking years, dude. We've been around like us with clothes and stuff for like 300,000 years. Like we've had cities probably for like 100,000 years. Like the human race is going to continue on and we're going to continue to evolve. I'm just describing where we're evolving to, you know? And she's like, never! How dare you! So we're kind of in some society also right now where people can't vision the future. And so it's almost like we all collectively just expect we're all going to kill each other in a nuclear war and we're all going to die anyway. That's why nobody can see into the future. Nobody can envision anything. And if you vision anything, it's all like negative, Armageddon type situation. And if it's like high-end technology, it's not really that deep. It's only like a couple of flying cars, you have a fancy looking phone, but then everything else happening in the world is the same shit. You've got the Illuminati and they're murdering people to try to keep them from displaying the truth, and oh look, the underground drag people and all that shit, you know, nothing's different. So Star Trek was like the closest thing, you know, they actually managed to make spaceships to fly around, but then everybody else, all the aliens, everybody had human problems. So if I'm here, like, I'm describing a future where, let's say in 250 years, right, so we're halfway through, when America's 500 years old, I'm here like, yeah, the average person would know everything. Like they're omniscient. Why not? It's 250 years in the future, dude. 5 generations or whatever. How many generations from now? 8 generations? It's like, you have plenty of time. So the idea is everybody's omniscient. Like you mention somebody, you mention a decade, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I know what happened that decade. This. They know every decade. They know the ancient history of the planet. Why? Because of the lifestyle. They've been doing it their whole life. They take the tests all the time. They're always listening to it, and it's competition. They're trying to be like up there in the levels with their high-end, high-quality videos and high test scores and their high physical scores. Oh, and that's another thing that triggered my mom. The posting. The public posting of your test scores. So when I started saying testing, she fucking went nuclear on me again. And I'm like, because you're putting people on the spot and you're stressing people out and I know that's one of the complaints with the education system is like too much testing. And no, that's indicative of how the education system isn't teaching anybody, because now the people are too stupid to take the test. But it doesn't mean, and so now they're so goddamn dumb, not only can they not take the test, but they don't even understand the point of taking the test, so they want to get rid of the tests. But they want to keep the schools? So now you just go to school just to what? Just to be there? Oh, why? Because both of your parents have full-time jobs cleaning toilets for the rich person. So schools are just babysitting places. But then why are we in school until we're 23? You need to be babysat till you're 23? Like, it's all fucking insane. So, yeah, my mom is like, no, don't test, no. Make somebody feel bad about being stupid. Now you're going to point your finger at him being stupid. And I'm like, well, no, we've always had tests. This is just a replacement for them. And then I said, yeah, so I'm like, what, are you against SAT tests? And she's like, yeah, I always hated those. So I'm like, okay, so like you think you never should have taken it. And I think that's what she implied. Like she thought that she should have been allowed to never take the SAT test. So my own mother basically disagrees with me on everything, even to the point of being completely insane. She thinks people shouldn't take SATs. People shouldn't have YouTube videos or websites because you'll lose your identity, and then like people will be able to chop you down in all the other ways. And schools need to stay around because if you try to get rid of them, you're in there with Trump. Yeah, like literally everything I say, she like has an allergic reaction to it and is like screaming at me. So, that's my mother. So imagine how many people you're like, yeah, you YouTube yourself taking tests, and they're like, huh, yeah, right, not me. And you're like, yeah, well, people would pay you for it. And then they're like, yeah, right, I wouldn't pay for that. And you're like, okay, well, in the future, people will do it. The next generation, they're like, yeah, right. This generation's a bunch of losers. It's just like fucking devil's advocate bullshit. But that's what you're going to deal with. So the only way, to show that this is a good system is by actually doing it. You have to have one person walking the talk. And because I came up with the idea, I want to be that person walking the talk. I can, like if you're going to do it, the first person to do it, or the requirements you need to be able to do it is you do have to have a certain basic level of history, because when you take the biweekly history test, if you don't know anything, you're just gonna, it's not going to be worth it for anybody to watch you, because they're not going to learn anything because you don't know anything. And you're going to drag yourself down, and you're going to feel hopeless, like, how am I ever going to be able to do this? So you have to have for the biweekly history test, and even with the book reviews. Because if you're listening to a book while you're, like, walking around lifting weights and stuff, you're not totally paying attention to it the way that you would when you're laying down reading, but people don't read anymore, and they shouldn't. I was watching videos like, people don't read books. Well, no shit. They don't have the fucking time. We have audiobooks, but now people aren't doing audiobooks. So that can be difficult too, to do a quality, book review on something of a book you literally just read, but you were living your life while you were reading it. And so, I haven't even done it. I haven't done a book review in forever or uploaded my video because I've been, because I haven't gotten myself into gear yet. I still don't feel good physically. I can still barely work out. My brain hasn't switched on. I was smoking weed until yesterday because I had weed that was growing from my closet, and I've just been kind of slow to kick myself into gear since a couple of months ago when I decided to do it and just to stop working on my site because my computer died, and my body's too old. So So anyways, that's what I'm going to try to do. That's what I'm going to get going on now. I'm going to work out. And also, I have to write my page. So when I write the blurb on my website, that's like making me more mainstream, more positive, not so much negativity. I'm not going to say fucking or idiots or anything like that. No sarcasm, only positivity, which is totally fine. The reason that it's a little bit more hard to do it the positive way than to do it the negative way. And I tried it that way with Kirsten like 5 years ago. So yeah, rewrite it. But then after I do that, start recording everything for the working out and the tests. And if I have to have a job, you know, I guess I have to have a job. But maybe that'll help me get money. Because I can be like, look, I really do have money problems. Look, see how I have a job? Because otherwise people might be like, think I'm full of shit because I haven't had the job, even though I'm going into debt. So I actually have to have a job to prove that I need the money. And then on top of that, I have to be doing the book reviews, taking the history test, grading the history test, recording my exercise and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I might have to be doing it all in the dark, like low key by myself, because my mom might, in the end, she might just switch her mind, change her mind in the end and be like, you know what, I don't like this. So just don't talk to me at all about this. So we might, it's very possible that we might have to come to the agreement that I'm still her son, she's still my mother, but we don't talk about work. I don't talk about any of the books I read, what I did that day, what I'm doing on my website, nothing on the website, nothing conceptually, no philosophy, only trashing Trump and complaining about Trump and fun places we can drive around the neighborhood, but that's it. We can't talk about anything else because it'll trigger her and just scream at me that I'm doing something that nobody cares about. Damn it, nobody cares about it. And nobody should. Because like in the beginning, when you hear people do that super hyper emotional screaming at you, devil's advocate, like you're violating their human rights and they're telling you that nobody cares about what you're doing. Well, when they're that emotional, what they're really saying is they don't care about it. Because that's kind of where it goes with my mom. Like, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares. Okay, well, let's play devil. Let's do a little bit of Socratic questioning here and just see what you understand about what I'm doing. Because then maybe it's because you don't understand, and then it's like, yeah, they don't care. No, they don't. I don't care. To hear, don't tell me I don't care. Oh, so you don't care, right? Well, what about those other people? I don't care about those other people. Oh, right, and you don't care about them either. So yeah, we'll see. But she'll be here in like an hour and a half. I don't know. Maybe I should go to the gym first if I have time. Yeah, I think I should if I have time. I need to get in the habit of going there all the time. But yeah, she's going to give it another try, and we're going to try it where I just throw out the bullet points. So yeah, let me do the bullet points again. So I was bullet point 5. Then technology can allow us to take control again. And so here's where you get into the design of the website. So if we have an idea where we're going to be omniscient in 250 years, right? Well, we have to have websites and, you know, the text that we read and stuff to be condensed, you know, and even what you write just to be very condensed so that you can get to the cut to the chase quickly. And it needs to be visually condensed. People can read visually too, not just auditorially, because then it takes forever. Auditorially, like the same thing as reading, top to bottom. But then there's speed reading, where you zoom in on where you're trying to go and you get the information and you go out. And that, in order to do that, you need a website that is conducive to that, you know. Compare my website to the CIA World Factbook. My CIA World Factbook of the U.S. compared to the CIA World Factbook of U.S., that's what I'm talking about. The CIA page is like your average everyday website now. My website is what websites are going to look like in the future. And that's another thing that triggered my mom, made her really mad. Because I said something like, yeah, so my websites, that's what websites will look like in the future. She's like, who the hell do you think you are? Are you the Messiah? Do you think that you're the only genius of the world and everybody has no choice but to follow you and make their websites look just like yours, or else they get arrested and go to jail forever? How dare you try to force feed this to people? And I was like, no, I was just making a prediction based on the patterning In the future, if everybody's a speed reader and everybody reads all the time and learns all the time, everybody's going to want to have a high text density web page, which takes up all pages of all parts of the page. They're also going to want to have it color coded and font coded to help kind of subconsciously help categorize things into the different categories, because you have everything in together where you can see it all. So you have to create the different you know, qualities inside the page. Like if you're looking at a mountainside, you know, and like you have violets intermixed with daisies. So you have this mountain that half of it, it's like dark purple, and then the other half of it, it's white. Well, you could look at the mountain, and if you could train your brain to look at only the daisies, and now you're looking at a purple mountain. But then if you train your brain to only looking at the violets, purple mountain, you only train your brain to look at the daisies, now it's a white mountain. Right? So it's the same thing with a website. Like if I'm looking at a website and I'm looking for every quote that was in the book. Well, it's all the daisy colored quotes. Okay, boom, 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 boom. All I'm seeing is the quotes. And now I flip in my brain. I'm only looking for speeches. Okay, well, the speeches are purple. Okay, purple, but I'm only seeing speeches, right? But it's all there at the same space. So if you're going to speed read, you have to have a website that's a speed read website, you know? Like if you're a weightlifter, you want to use weightlift shoes. If you're going to go ice skating, you need to put on ice skates. If you're going to ride your bike, you need to put bike shoes. If you're going to read if you're going to speed read a high text data density website, the website needs to be written in speed read. You know, it can't be a one size fits all. Maybe in 1975 all mountain bikes looked the same. You had the TAM, the Fisher Mount Tam mountain bike from 1982 or something. And that's the mountain bike. You go mountain biking up on the dirt road, and then you can go up the trail. Now there's a different freaking mountain bike for every freaking terrain. You need a new mountain bike. You know? So if you're going to be, it all becomes specialized. If you're going to become that's kind of what happens with society. People become more specialized. But then it gets out of control, and you have to back up and become, you know, like a generalized human again. So... So that's basically, and then I have to describe the design of the site. So I have to start from the problems of the world to then society, you know, technology screwing everything up, using technology against us, and then technology fixes with websites, and then the websites have to be designed, you know, with the speed reading, and then everybody has to share each other. So it's all these different like concepts. And then the Google Earth. I want to throw in the Google Earth. Time space. I want to throw in the time space concept. So, you know, it could sound a little bit aspirational. So there's just different angles that I can hit it, you know, and I could actually try it with like testing, you know, like I'm not going to just delete this page. I'm going to move it off to another page, another folder, you know, and I'll label the page front page from 2017 to 2024 or whatever it was. And then I think it was 2019. And then I'll do the one where, you know, here's the really aspirational 500 words with all of the catchphrases. You know, and I could have that up for 6 months. If that doesn't work, I could replace it with another one that's like, this is the longer, more in depth. God, that's shit. That was bird shit in my hair. They've been pooping in my hair. And what was I saying? Yeah, then I could try another angle, like, you know, I'm broke, help me out. Or I could do an angle like, because I did the angry angle, then I can do the friendly, then I could do the fearful angle. You just try all the different angles and find out which one will gain traction, you know, and then I can kind of move forward. with this world full of thick ass motherfuckers. The other problem, I think I might have a little bit of an aura, because your aura, it can get into you. I might have a little bit of an aura of not having any experience of anybody understanding anything that I say, because I have a mother who can't understand anything I say. And my brothers are like dumber than she is. Like, they're my enemies now, because instead of getting any kind of human interaction and human connection with my website, it just ended up like making them jealous or something. I don't know. So, yeah, so the one, and I can't talk to Paula, my ex-wife, because she's not smart enough. Like, she only speaks Italian and Spanish and doesn't want to do the translator on my site. So she doesn't even, it's not even interested. So yeah, my mom, I got my mom, but she disagrees with me on literally everything I say. So now I have kind of like this aura of like this je ne sais quoi vibe about me of like, I don't fit in. Like, yeah, I'll talk to you and I'll get excited and I'll move my hands around and I'll talk this, that, and the next thing, but like there's no reality behind me of anybody ever agreeing with me. So there's this vibe of like, oh, there's a crazy person talking to me, saying crazy stuff that I don't understand anything that he's saying. So it would help if, you know what would really be nice, and I'm not the kind of person to say this, I'm not the kind of person to ask for help, but would be nice, apart from money from a rich person, and I know they're out there, even though my mom, and I know that there's good people out there, even though my mom thinks they're all evil. Like, people need to realize, rich people need to realize that regular people are getting cynical as hell. And like old people. Like, my mom had a friend, okay, who's 85, and she was hanging out, living at my mom's house, just staying there for a week. And I was trying to chat her up, and I was like, hey, check it out. Check out the new house my ex-wife moved in. Because she got with another guy recently, and then the guy, like, I guess, wanted to upsize, so the house she was living in with her new boyfriend was in an apartment in the middle of Parma, and then he moved into some big 6,500 square meter, like, farmhouse, bumfuck nowhere, outside of Parma, Italy. And so I just wanted to show her, I was like, hey, look at this big-ass house my wife got. And it's not even painted. It's like there's no paint on the outside. It wasn't furnished. It was like some barn, like an abandoned barn. And she got triggered, dude, like how my mom does. She's like, well, God damn it, I hate those big houses. Nobody should have a big house. If you have a big house, you need to have homeless people moving with you. And I tried to explain to her, I'm like, no, this isn't the middle of nowhere. It's like, this is like a 1,000-year-old building. Like, no homeless people are going to want to live there. It's not near any homeless people. She's like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it now. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, you can't see any positivity? Like, I can't go, like, look at my wife's house. Like, she can't say something like, oh, yeah, maybe she could paint it. Like, with her own hands, okay? Not like, she has to put my ex-wife, whose boyfriend is, like, 65 years old or something and had, like, a regular job his whole life. I think he was, like, a janitor or something. And all of a sudden, my mom's friend is super steaming pissed off at my poor ex-wife and her poor janitor boyfriend just because they move into some shack in the middle of bumfuck nowhere because they have to be rich, just because it's big. You know, so there's like there's no communication going on. Like there's no celebration of life, no communication, no celebration of anything. Hard work. It's just a bunch of cynical, angry, cynical people who hate each other. And, you know, the rich people probably hate the poor people because they think they're smarter and more hardworking than you. I've experienced this with two guys. One of them would be like 85 years old now. One of them would be, I don't know, 75 or something. But you can get it from their vibe in that, you know, they're super cynical. They're not interested in you. They give you one-word answers. They roll their eyes at everything you say, and then they have problems with you, right? And you're like, wow, that guy seems kind of like a snooty asshole. You know, like one guy, I'll just give a really quick, I've got a gazillion of these examples, but I'll just give you one. He's like, here, and he gives me like this, like a shot glass of like whiskey. So I'm like, all right, thanks, and I drink it. And then he goes, you're meant to sip it. And I was like, okay. And then he turns around and walks away without pouring it again, like to let me sip it. Just to be a dick, like I'm an idiot because I didn't know that you're supposed to sip whiskey. Then now I have to, in front of all these other people. And it's like, wow, okay. But then you get it, and then there's this other guy who had a vibe like that. He was my friend's dad. Invented like, a Fortune 500 company. Yeah, and then once my buddy mentioned once, he said something like, yeah, my dad thinks everybody's just retarded. He's like the smartest because he has money, and because he has money, everybody else, if you don't have money, is retarded. So then you could get rich kids who grow up and they're like, they look at their parents and they see how they have money and they own this, that, and the next thing. And then they're like, oh, wow, yeah, we must be. And then they look at somebody going to work every day and they're like, damn, how did you get yourself in that situation, having to go to work every day? You must be retarded. So then they think that they're smart, and so then they decide what is smart. So then smart is sipping the whiskey and knowing what the really expensive wine is, and knowing which sports cars have the best clutch system or whatever the fuck. But if you say something like, hey, I have an idea of how to bring the education of everybody up with self-education, blah, blah, blah. They're like, fuck you, idiot. Where are you making money from that? Has anybody ever listened to you? No? Okay, well, then why would I? It's like the same thing. It's kind of like the vibe with my brothers. Like, my brothers, they never actually told me, but it seems like they don't want to talk to me because they haven't seen me talk to other people and make friends with other people. And so because I'm not making friends with other people, they're not going to talk to me. And it's like, but don't you realize why? I've been working on my website. They're like, oh, well, have you made money? Oh, well, then I'm not going to be friends with you because you haven't made money with the website. Well, it's like, can I talk to you about the website? No, of course not. No, I haven't talked to my website even in the least to either of my brothers. I do it with my mom with screaming and my ex-wife, but she doesn't even understand it. And then other people come in and they literally refuse to act really fucking creepy and refuse to say anything. Like my cousins, I had a couple of cousins, and they were like, yeah, like deliberately, they were like consensual reality, like my mom said, hey, tell me about your website. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I just mentioned one thing, and he didn't even listen to me. I said the Atlantis thing. I was like, yeah, I feel like I found Atlantis. And he goes, I accidentally went to your website once when I typed my dad's name, and I saw my dad's name on there on something I don't even know. And so I need to get you to get rid of my dad's name because of identity theft. And I was like, yeah, that was the page I was telling you, the family lineage that I researched, and I wrote all the way back down to the Emperor of Rome, 2 emperors of Rome, that I was telling you about earlier today, but you didn't hear me because you were talking to my mom and just talked over me. So that's the kind of shit you have to deal with, that I have to deal with. I'm like, I basically feel like I live in the Black Mirror. I live in an episode of the Twilight Zone, and I'm about to find out how much of the Twilight Zone I actually live in, because I'm going to start looking for work, anywhere, dude. Taco Bell, Home Depot, helping old people, anything, man. And I'll put my website up there, and we'll see if anybody gonna hire me, because they might be like, oh no, look, website. Oh, we don't do website, people. He has a YouTube. We don't do that. So what? So now there have to be a bunch of homeless people? Why are all those homeless people out there? Because they never got hired, because they didn't fit in this closed-minded society we are in. So then we need to backtrack, and we need to go back to the laws of the country and have those laws protect those people, and maybe have a bigger government, because then the government can hire them, and then they can be protected by the laws of the government, because the private companies don't have any laws they have to follow. So they don't have to hire you or give you money. They have all the power. So then you just become homeless. And then what? What's next? Oh, we need to get rid of those homeless people. Kill them all. So then you're not allowed to live, be alive. So then you just have to be like an automaton. So anyways, that's why I can get a little bit frustrated. And it's a little bit more difficult to write the blurb on my website in like a super positive, flowery, everything's going to come out great way, if every fucking thing that comes out of my mouth, my mom's screaming at me and like disagreeing with me wholeheartedly on like the simplest concept, like there needs to be tests. Never! Hey, maybe we shouldn't make it a requirement for everybody to be in school until they're 23 fucking years old. Never! So, okay, so everybody needs to be sitting in school till they're 23 watching some dude go blah, 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 and then kick you out. But God forbid, don't upload a YouTube video or take the test online or make a website. But do go there. Oh, God forbid, don't take any tests. Just go to the class, sit in class, sit there and smile, but don't ever take a test. That's like what my mom wants. It's insane. So that's what I'm dealing with, man. That's my secretary. I've got a 83-year-old secretary who disagrees with everything that I say, screaming at me, and like will refuse to take down the dictation so that I can write. So we'll see how it happens today. We'll see how it works out. But that's basically what I'm up against. Like it does have like it makes it a little bit more difficult when you're surrounded by negative people who just want to just tell you how it's not going to work out, because then it kind of creates this vibe, around you. And then when you write, you can't concentrate because you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't even write that because nobody will like it. Yeah, I won't write that either because nobody will like that. And nobody will ever like it. It's like, just build it, dude. And now you have the thing, and if the people don't like it, you fix it. But you can't have that attitude from the very beginning before you even get anything on the paper. That's kind of like what my mom is like. Never! Oh yeah, and then she goes into the insults. Sounds like an autistic person wrote it. This is insane. You're insane. You're crazy. It's like, dude, all I said was, if we put enough work into studying history as we did in the past to staying alive, we would all be geniuses. It's just a goddamn statement. Like, imagine watching TV with somebody and somebody said that, and the person you're watching TV with fucking has a nervous breakdown because they said it. How dare you say that? How dare you say that? Never! It's like, damn, why? What's the trigger? I don't take tests! Oh, right, you don't answer questions. You just have opinions. It's almost like she's some kind of a demon sent from hell to try to destroy me. So, anyway, we'll see. And I can't prove that she's like that because she won't allow herself to be filmed. She won't even allow herself to have photos taken of her. It's like one of those Indians and stuff with their souls. And my brothers either. They would never allow themselves to have a photo taken of them or a video or an interview of them. But lo and behold, they'd probably allow some random person to do an interview of them. Just not me. Like my mom had some random lady do an interview of her that's online for like an hour talking about her career in aromatherapy. Would never let me do that. So, in fact, every time I talk to her, she's like, you're not going to talk about this online. Or it's like, no, dude, I'm just trying to talk to you. So, I basically have so many biases. I'm up against so many different like biases that, I might not get any traction with my website. Well, I mean, I have to do it myself. Like if you do it yourself and you show how easy it is that you're doing it, it'll catch on, dude. All I have to do it is myself. So that's why, but, yeah, I have to keep the screaming voices. Because if you get screamed at enough times, like those voices, at least by the same person who's close to you, like your mother, now you start to hear those voices in your head, like throughout all day long. Like you're lifting weights and, nobody will ever like you! Oh, God. Where did that come from? And then I'm like trying to do like running on the treadmill. Nobody will ever listen to you. Nobody will hire you. Oh my God, where did that come from? You know, it's like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know if I'll hang out here, if I'll go in the gym. Oh, no, she's late all the time. That's right. She said she'd come over at 10:30, so that means 12:30 to 1. Which is a bummer because she gets tired. She's old, right? So if she didn't get here, she was supposed to be here at noon. She didn't get here until like 2:30 yesterday because I don't know what the hell she was doing. She always has all these prior commitments with all these different people. She has like all these social groups she's part of that she has to keep up with and go and hang out with and talk to on the phone for an hour. So it only gave her 2 hours to scream at me. So we didn't have any time. So I was like, can you just get here in the morning so you don't yell at me and then get tired and have to go, you know? Like we can actually do something. So, but whatever, we will figure out today. If she can't help me, then I'll just do it myself. I just didn't want to do it myself. I have to get myself into the right mindset, you know? I'm not even in the mindset of working out. I'm still at the beginning. The weed, I think, it's going to be rough for me to quit weed because I've been smoking weed every day for like 30 years. And so to quit the weed, to quit it slowly would probably be the easier way to do it. So that's just so happened how it happened. I had all these weed plants that I grew. The very first weed plants I ever grew. So yeah, I smoked it. I smoked the whole weed plant and just be lazy. A lazy bum for like a month. And just sitting around smoking weed like, okay, I guess I can't do anything if I'm smoking weed. When I'm done, I'll do it. So now I'm done with the weed. Now I'm ready to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to go off to the gym now, and then my mom will call when she comes over. I'll come over here. And I don't see it going well because this next approach I'm going to do, see, the way that I'm going to try to describe myself on my website is just lots of different angles, you know? You just try the different angles. And I did the angry angle. And so now I'm going to do the like bullet point, flowery, motivational speech type angle. But she might not like it. Like she might straight up refuse to transcribe it because it'll just sound too crazy. Because it'll be like one slogan after another. Boom, 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 boom. And she'll be like, this sounds insane. You're insane. I'm not going to help you. Because then, you know, and I'll be like, all right, I guess I'm on my own then. So we'll find out. We'll find out how it happens. So, anyway, that's my vlog for the day. I barely did any lifting yesterday, but I ran 2 miles. So, yeah, my diet. I couldn't do any exercise just because of my diet, and I was high. But you can supersede that, you know. Like for me to not be able to work out, like lots of things have to not be working out. My diet has to be completely fucked. I have to be high, and I also have to be generally out of shape. So if I can cut one of those out, I could deal with one of them and still work out. So, like if my diet's fucked, but I'm not high, and then I can do it. I can still go in there, and it'll suck, but I'll do it. You know, yeah. So, yeah, that's but boy, did I get myself out of shape. Holy fucking shit. Like, I can barely even stand up. Like, when I was walking around over at the horse the other day, I was barely able to walk because my hip is injured from lack of exercise. It hurts all the time. My left ankle, I can't lift my foot up because of an injury I had. My right knee hurts really bad. I literally walk like this, and I'm like, God damn it, I don't even know if I could get a job. If I got a job, I'd have to sit down every 5 minutes, and I get fucking fired because I wouldn't be able to stand up. So I'm like, I have to go to the gym to be able to get a job. Like, that's like before last year, it'd be like, you go to the gym, be the most fit person ever. No. And then it quickly turned into, oh shit, go to the gym so that you can be comfortable. Now it's, oh shit, go to the gym so you can work a job. So, yeah, I got myself in trouble with this fucking website. Because I have, like, the stuff that I built on the website, I built so much, like, on Google Earth. And I could make so many videos. That's why I want to describe that on the front part, like, Google Earth videos coming up. That's what I'm going to say. Because it ties into the time and space. If you understand things with time and space. And I want to describe that a little bit, too. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to. Kind of like a moment of truth moment with my mom today. Figure out what's going on. Yeah, but I have to build that 300-page thing now because I have to get a job now. I'm like totally out of money. Like I don't have any money to pay taxes, which are due in April, and yeah, I'm out. It's over. And you know, it could be difficult to get a job too. You know, being me, the guy with the website and the YouTube. You know, and I even have my website on my car. You know, like that could be my disqualifier. That's why you need to be in a if you're going to have a society that can continue to grow, you need to be surrounded by people that will allow you to grow and allow you to grow society. Like if I was in some North Korea right now, like I wouldn't be allowed to, you know. If I was in a lot of places, you wouldn't be allowed to even use the internet or do anything. And we're kind of borderline entering into that society now with us. Like we'll find out if I'll get hired. And if I don't get hired, then yeah. It's like, hello, you guys, I have newsflash for you. We're living in a kind of a oppressive society, and it's oppressed by people, not by laws yet, but the people are going to allow the laws to be made, and then the laws will then suppress the people, and then if the people wake up one day and decide that they want to have a website and YouTube, there's a law in place that they can't do it. You know, you have to pay like the $300,000 entrance fee or something like that. So, you know, just me, I feel like I'm helping move society forward in a gazillion different ways, you know, just from existing. Just from me mentioning the idea of having a website and doing it. Even if I never even do it, I've done my part just by bringing up the idea, you know. So anyway, see, that's why having a mom who screams at me and devil's advocate, it puts a sour feeling in my head, and I start feeling like nobody is going to agree with me, you know. So if I didn't have her around at all, like if she died or if she just didn't care about what I was up to, there would be no negativity. I could fill my mind with just flowery thoughts. And even if nobody paid attention to me, there'd be no negativity. So it's just me going through life being like, and then I could pump myself up. Hell, I'm just better than everybody. I'm just see something that nobody else can see. Ha ha ha. But there's no, and sure, there's probably a lot of people like, this fucking asshole, he thinks he's special. If I saw him in the face, in person, I'd fucking scream at him and tell him he's a fucking asshole full of shit. He ain't all that. It's like, well, I don't have you in my face, do you? I did in the form of my mom, but we're not talking about that anymore. So now I'm just here, you know, being happy that one day people will be doing what I'm suggesting people are doing. Because, listen, people are complaining about what's wrong with the world, right? The education system's fucked. It's fucked here, fucked. But where are the solution people? The people like, hey, I got this program. Let's do it. This will fix everything. Well, I'm here. I don't know anybody else, but I'm getting totally ignored. Which I totally deserve, because I haven't fucking walked the talk yet. I need to walk the talk. And so that's why I need to scream to my mom to walk the talk, which she doesn't understand that concept either, I don't think. Why would you walk the talk if nobody's paying you? You walk the talk and then they pay you, because you walk the talk first. Well, nobody will pay you. Why? Because they don't think like you. Well, how do you know? Because, like, this is an argument my mom and I have all the time. She's almost 83. I'm 50. So, but she thinks she's more in touch with society than I am. But I'm 33 years younger than her. I'm closer to the invention of all this stuff. So I would be more in touch than her. And she's saying everything's impossible. I'm saying stuff that is possible and why. And so she's following all the patterning of the old people, but she doesn't know why. Or realize that she's doing it. So, anyways, that's my vlog. I was kind of ranting, but see, I need to get my brain into happy positivity. You know, all I have to do is describe it, and I know that you agree with me. You know, and then I can concentrate. I can't, because it's hard to like do all this other stuff, you know, pay attention to a book, do a book review, take this test, and when you have these voices in your head, the screaming at you, and then even this is why I think my mom's some kind of agent of the devil, because then she'll just go into the insults. Like, before even trying to help me reword or something or understand what I said, she'll just be like, you fucking psycho. So then I have to deal with that. You fucking psycho! Like in the middle of the day. Nobody will ever like you! Whoa. Like the actual things that she fucking said multiple times. Because it's like a trigger. Like I say, and then here it comes. Yeah, to the point that her voice is actually hoarse. She said, yes, I gotta go. My voice is hoarse because you've been yelling at me. Your voice is hoarse because I was yelling at you? No, I think it works out that your voice is hoarse because you were the one that was yelling. Like if my voice is hoarse, it's because I was yelling, but your voice can't be hoarse because of the yelling that I was doing against you. It doesn't work that way. So, anyway, my mom's a really sweet lady. She's a really nice, sweet, caring lady. She just, her IQ isn't that high. She doesn't have a very high IQ. So you can lose her. Like I've actually calibrated. I know, because I have the experience, I know how long I can talk, I can get a thought out to her, like a concept. I know the limit is before, because if I exceed that limit, then she'll do like this and she'll be like, you're just rambling nonsense. Like that happened last time because I exceeded the limit. It's about 5 to 10 seconds. I need to get from beginning to middle to end in about 5 to 10 seconds. And if I can do that, I can hold her. And then she can be like, okay. And then I'll do the next 5 to 10, okay. And then, but the problem is if you string more than 4 or 5 of the 5 to 10 second idea blocks with her, then it falls apart. So, like trying to convince my mom, and it's probably because she's old, is kind of like trying to climb up something that's crumbling, you know? So you have to climb up it faster than it crumbles, because if you hang out on it too long, it'll fall apart. So, yeah, you gotta be quick. Anyways, the battery's about to die. Talk to you tomorrow.